So this is a selection of material relating to the Hindenburg disaster. So in the back, 3 pieces of stemware that were from the onboard service of the Hindenburg that were liberated by a traveler on the not on the flight that crashed, but on an earlier flight.
I love how you say that, liberated by a traveler.
Liberated by a traveler. In the back, we have a piece of the wreckage. This is a piece of the skin, the sort of, it's a fabric that's covered with supposedly a non-flammable substance, and then a scrap of the frame, the aluminum frame, which is astonishingly light. I mean, it's a balloon. The Hindenburg is just a giant balloon. So the structure is made of a very light aluminum frame with fabric over it. And so we have a couple of pieces of fabric here. This is an onboard service plate, salad plate, with the logo of the company that flew the Hindenburg. And a couple of souvenir pennants in the back. This is a toy version of the Hindenburg, which obviously would have been discontinued after the disaster. And then these are items that were recovered from the wreckage. These are shaving kits. And this is a playing die, and you can see they're charred and really in pretty grim shape, as you would be if you would.
They're lucky they survived.
Yeah. In it, we have a couple of pieces that relate to Shoeless Joe Jackson, who was a baseball player for the Chicago White Sox, involved in the game fixing scandal of the 1919 World Series. His material again is very rare because once the scandal broke, he was thrown out of baseball, just no longer a part of the game. So anything that exists that celebrates him as a player is going to be pre-scandal and necessarily a little bit rarer than things that might have come out later. So we have these pennants for him and another member of the Chicago White Sox who was also involved in the scandal named Buck Weaver. And then in the very back is a little tiny flannel blanket for Shoeless Joe that actually dates earlier when he was playing with the Cleveland team. That panel is so interesting. It came in a packet of cigarettes, and the company issued 50 of them, and you were supposed to collect all the little blankets and all the little panels and sew them together into a blanket, which seems completely misguided for marketing towards a baseball fan, but there you have it.
For their mothers.
Yeah, it's certainly very rare to find the complete set, which we don't have here. But of these, the rarest is, of the panels, the rarest is the Shoeless Joe.
Wow. I've never even heard of them doing something like that.
Me neither. It just seems
cool.
completely misguided.
Yeah.
But whatever.
And then JFK? And the
We have
Lincoln
some
assassination?
JFK thing. This is actually part of a larger group of material that relates to the Kennedy assassination, Kennedy assassination. This is, and most of it is printed ephemera. This piece is a very interesting piece. This is a tiny fabric fragment that is taken from the curtain in the theater box of Ford's Theater where President Lincoln was assassinated.
Oh, interesting.
We also have, in the sale, we have a tiny fragment of Lincoln's coat, clipped from his lapel the night of the assassination, and we have a fragment of a towel that was used to mop the blood from his wound. It's a collection of artifacts recovered by members of the rescue team. In other words, when the Titanic went down, a call went out to a lot of boats that were in the area to rush to the scene and to try and look for survivors or for bodies. And one of the boats was called the Minia, and its job was to lay transatlantic cable in the Atlantic. So we have 2 pieces that actually come from the Minia. The first is this bolt. This bolt was actually recovered from Titanic wreckage itself by a crew member. And then this is just a section of the transatlantic cable that the boat crew was laying when they were called away to attend to the rescue scene. We've got very tiny period tags that went with each of these, authentication tags for each of the piece.